Our team spent 7 years writing stories about people who are making a difference in their communities and sometimes the world through acts of compassion. Now more than ever, we all must choose compassion every chance we get. Here is a short story of a funeral director who has made the world a little brighter for others in the Queens, New York area. I hope his compassion and care make you smile and provide hope for the future.
Hi, I'm Milton Lane from Paul Lane Funeral Home in Jamaica, New York. And over the years, there have been many different families that we served, some times that have stood out for us, times things that we've had to do to make sure that the people had a proper homegoing service. And one of the things that I think I'll always remember is at a time just prior to Hurricane Sandy hitting the New York City area, we were engaged by a family that had lost a loved one, a young man, under tragic circumstances. And it was literally the eve of the storm when his body was finally ready to be released from the hospital. At this time, the mother was just inconsolable. It's just, she was just, she was having a difficult time with it, as any parent would. And we had the logistic problems of being hit, New York City possibly taking a direct hit from a hurricane. Logistical services were a question mark. But the mom was really, she needed to plan this funeral, and it was difficult to try to explain to her, to get her to understand that we can kind of lay a base plan, but a lot depends on what's going to happen over the next 72 hours with the weather and the city's response and the recovery. So she didn't like it, but she understood. And then the storm hit, and we all remember how bad that was, what the response was. Power outages, flooding, massive flooding. And then we lost logistical services immediately after the storm in response to cleaning up, trying to get the roads clear, water out of different places. So once the storm was actually over, and I think we were able to get into the facility on, I think it might not have been that Wednesday until the roads were clear and people were able to really move around after all the drowned trees and debris was gone, cleared. Then we faced the next hurdle of the venue where the services were supposed to be held was damaged during the storm. The access roads to get to the venue made it impossible to get there, and crews were not going to clear those roads anytime soon. And the venue had no power, like so many people after the storm. So we talked with the family. The family was able to secure another venue, another church that did have power and was accessible, luckily, and we were going to be able to hold the services there. Then the logistical problem came. It began to set in on people that the gas stations ran out of gas. So I remember distinctly driving from New York City back and forth to my home in New Jersey and taking every gas can that I had and going to fill up the gas cans in New Jersey and then place them into my car for the trip back to New York so that I could fuel the funeral vehicles that we needed in order to continue operating, in order to have this young man's service. This was prior to the Office of Emergency Management in New York City setting up a fuel depot for funeral directors and taxi drivers. I don't think that went into place. I think it was maybe 2 weeks after the storm. But I'm talking the week of the storm, people were out of gas. Gas stations were dry. The refinery in New Jersey took a hit, and it was down. It was offline. The trucks were not rolling. They were not making deliveries. So whatever those gas stations had in their tanks was what the public could get. And if the gas stations had power in order to even run the pumps to pump it. But we were able to do it. We made it work. We were able to have his homegoing service on a Saturday, I believe it was. And she got the closure she needed. It was an extremely large, touching, and moving services, but it gave people the closure that they needed, a chance to say goodbye to this special young man. And it was such a relief for me after everything was over to see that the young man's mother had moved on to the next stage, that she was moving forward in her grieving process, that we were able to bring her some amount of comfort to begin the process of having some closure. She really needed to have this happen in order to begin the process of healing and moving forward. And I'm just glad that she trusted us with her son, and we were able to be a part of that healing process for her. And I'll always remember that service, and I'll always remember the things that happened before and immediately after that service. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to help people in their time of need. I'm Milton Lane from Paul Lane Funeral Home, and thank you for listening.
There are truly good people out there doing amazing things with compassion and kindness. This is just a day in the life of someone who truly cares about the families he serves.